This could likely be one of the most comprehensive and advanced city building games I have ever seen. Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to a game known as Primitive Society Simulator, a game that comes out on the 25th of February 2024 and has all the things that we've loved about other games such as Going Medieval and even Dawn of Man, Ancient Cities, and more. Now, this game allows us to build a fully functioning primitive society, including some of the things you'd expect in games like Black and White, where you get to not only build buildings like in Going Medieval, but also be able to raise people and their minds and pass down knowledge from generation to generation. I just finished about a 10-minute video from the developer on their Steam store page for this one that goes over all the stuff they worked on just between like the early months of 2023. Now, I haven't seen anything new from them, but it certainly seems like this game has a lot of stuff in it, and they've hunkered down to add even more before its early access release. Now, this game allows you to have people, of course, have children, and then carve that knowledge that they've had through their job, like being a hunter or a builder, and put that onto a totem or something like that, and then to be able to pass that down from generation to generation. So it's not just a game that has, all these different citizens with random names that live and die, and then the next generation comes along to take the place. No, there's actually a handing down of a lot of things, including the knowledge of survival, dangerous hunts like mammoths, and more. So welcome aboard. Good to see you all here. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let me know what you think about the game down below in the comments section. I'd surely like to hear from you on this game and many more. If you're loving this type of game, you can also watch other ones such as Foundation on the channel, Dawn of Man, Ancient Cities, and more. All right, well, thank you again for liking the video. And without further ado, let's jump into our first look at Primitive Society Simulator. Let's go. Now, one last thing real quick before we get started. This game is so comprehensive that even now there's a tutorial on some of the major things in the game, like basic gameplay, but then going more in depth as into combat, showcasing what it's like to fight beasts and other tribes that might attack you. You can also form alliances in this game too between those tribes, and like have ceremonies to where it's not just like left clicking on them, giving them a bunch of pots, and then they're happy. They actually come over and there's like an alliance ceremony. It's kind of the same as if people get married and whatnot too. So there's actual huge things that go on when you get those benefits. Animal taming as well, where traders will come in. You can buy animals from them and then either buy them and then have them breed, or find them in the wild and do things like that. Medical care as well, where you can then have people recover from illness or battle, and then reproduction and inheritance, which I mentioned about giving everybody knowledge and handing that down. There's a lot of stuff here. All right, we're going to start with a new tribe then today, and let's begin. Here we go. And would you look at that? Another huge menu giving us information on being invaded. Invader count 50%. We can turn that all the way up to like 400% if we want to. I'll be leaving it at about where it was. We also have ourselves, that was default too, by the way, to easy. Beast counts, number of sickness, or people who will get sick. Locusts can also attack and destroy our crops. We also have beast quest rewards, so we'll get different types of things for killing them. Mammoth meat, crocodile, rhinoceros, etc. Oh, so things to reward you for a big hunt of multiple dangerous creatures. Cold wave causing a big drop in temperature. Look at all that stuff. How often berry and millets spawn, and then you, of course, can actually make farmland out of that. That's crazy. Wild chickens, sheep, and more. Okay, confirm. And now we can make ourselves a tribe. So we've got ourselves the option to give everyone a random outfit or appearance, and then we can also change their, their name, and then, we can also change difficulty that way too and go back. Okay, cool. That's nice. All right, so we can give everyone random stats as well. So intelligence and vitality. Yeah, so basically their ability to fight and resist disease, and their efficiency at work or in battle, possibly. I guess there's a little bit more to war than just being strong. Let's begin. A new home. The hillside we once called home was swallowed by a sudden blizzard. Everyone and everything perished. Compelled by our fate, we set out on a long journey to find a new home. Rivers flowed towards the sun as the land stretched out to touch the sky as far as our eyes could see. The wilderness broadened before us. In the end, we found our safe place, a land rich with life. We will continue to accept nature's blessings and tribulations. Our people will survive. Yeah, this kind of reminds me of Prosper and thrive. This reminds me certainly of the beginning of Going Medieval, where you kind of banished or run into the wilderness that way. And of course, its appearance that way too, with blocks that look this way. We got ramps, of course. There's obviously a big influence there of that in other games. So I didn't see any options to make the map any larger, but we can see how big the map is for now. And it doesn't look like we get to choose the map type, or at least not at the moment. Also, I will say that the interface is a little dull, and I would like to see something a little more, I don't know, maybe pretty to look at in the future. But for now, this is okay, giving us all the things that you'd normally see. Yeah, you've seen this screen before, of course, in mini-games, including Alien Dawn. Yeah, let's see. Food management. Anipals, not animals, but anipals. I like that. That would be your ability to make friends with a dog or have a cat as a pet, and that actually will affect people's happiness and whatnot too. Cool, lots of good stuff here, including all the things that we can do in the game: trading, hunting. Wow, creations too. A little breakdown as to how to make certain things, and a little bit more on like the tech tree. So making the spear can then give us access to the sling, and then we can throw spears. We can make pottery, wooden armor. We can eventually make sleds and wheels. We can then forge brass, meteor forging, meteorite gathering. Wow, we'll be able to pick up metals, rare metals from the meteorite strikes. That's cool. Lots of stuff here. Look at this tech tree. Going all the way down different lines like hunting, fishing, forging. So that's going to be a lot of stuff to research then. We also have our tribe laying right here. All dead. Oh, no. They're fine. Yeah, we can also see a breakdown of everything we got. So we got pickaxes, knives, ropes, different types of tools and equipment to be able to build a primitive society. All right, let's get started. Now, again, there's so much to unpack here. We're going to have to try to rush through things. But this will be the type of game I would love to live stream on the channel. So we're going to be doing a lot more of this one because there's just simply too much here. People rushing for the river to go fishing and start gathering water, maybe berries. They're already automatically assigned to do different things here based on the priorities here. So things like gathering herbs, crafting, animal husbandry, foraging, food preparation, etc. Okay, well, while they're doing that, let's go ahead and get started by building a few things in the camp. Go ahead and get started with a bonfire so we can keep everybody warm at night. It's clearly a little breezy out, a little cold. A little chilly. We'll go ahead and get started with that. We can see here that it's 15 degrees Celsius. Oh, so maybe not so cold, but it certainly looks like it with the snow on the ground. And spring of year 1 with the time being documented in the upper right corner. We have wealth, prestige, and tribes people too. I'd like to see a menu a little bit more like Dawn of Man here. Eventually, I think that game did a very good job of kind of showcasing and presenting that to the player in a pretty but yet an understandable way at the same time with a good color palette. Let's see, let's get these out of the way. Make a little room around the bonfire here. There we go. I wonder if we can rename our characters at any time. I'm pretty sure we can, yeah. If you'd like to rename anybody, especially if a new child is born or if new people move in, then you can do it that way. And how many people do we have in our tribe? We have 2, 4, I think 6, 7, 8? Yeah, tribespeople 8 in the upper right corner. Okay, let's go ahead and add some bonfire seats now so they can sit down around the fire. We'll add 8 seats. And let's see if we can add one there too. Okay, great. And we do want to gather those resources rather than deleting them because, of course, plant fiber will be useful for building our next thing, which will be a shed. We're going to build a small little area for people to sleep. Now, we can build structures that are kind of temporary, all-in-one structures, or we can custom build buildings. We do have the ability to build walls and like terraform, so we can raise the ground to basically be like a giant plateau, and then we can put like almost like a castle on it, right? We could basically build a defensive structure made out of wood and put a roof on it, exactly like Going Medieval, and basically build a building that could possibly be multi-story, so long as we have access to like stairs. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with some sheds, and we'll try to put those somewhere nearby. Let's do something like this. We'll do a maybe something along those lines. There we go. Yeah, so you can see like a little tent set up there. Then we should be able to put some beds under there, so we can, of course, rotate things if we want to. And we'll try to put some beds under the shelter. Let's see, that's 2, 4, 6. So we can fit like 12 beds under there. It's going to be cramped and not so pleasant, but we must be focused on other things as well, not just necessarily building all the time and crafting. We also need to gather food too. We have ourselves a crafting table here, so we'll be able to make more advanced tools. Go ahead and put that like right here. Then we'll start making more of those flint axes and knives and things that we saw before. We'll have a weapon rack. Let's put that down too for all the things we might make. There we go. Fruit dryer. That'll be great for winter. Look at all the things we have access to. A war drum. There's our stone tablets in order to hand down knowledge. We have fences and a corral door for building like paddocks or pens for the animals. Chicken feeding trough as well. Wow. We can also change the color of decorative walls if we want to. And we can also remove that. And we can build walls and stairs and things like that too out of dirt and stone. We have pyres, fishing tool table. Wow, there's a lot of stuff here. And then, of course, we can also break it down by category. So if you're looking for, like, for example, plant-related stuff, then there's your seed table to be able to start farming. Now, more things will unlock over time, so that's not everything that we have access to. Obviously, we're pretty light in certain things, but there'll be more to do as we unlock more things over time. All right, let's watch our society grow. We're already bringing rocks to the construction site for the crafting table. Beautiful. And they're building that weapons rack as well. Good job, people. Mining already, too. Good work. And we see spring getting a little bit more sprung as the grass will eventually start turning more green. We'll have to survive every winter. Certainly a survival game. Look at the animations on all the animals, too. Pretty good. Chickens and sheep walking around. Leaves and flowers blowing in the wind. Trees kind of doing the same. Not bad. I do, again, want to control the map, though. I'd love to see what the game could do for building along a coastline or having a large lake or river-lake combo, or really building it like the exit of a large river where it then exits out to the sea. And we'll have to see if we could build, like, for example, a bridge across the river, too. Now, again, if and when we get invaded, there is going to be, of course, invaders coming in from the edges of the map, so the river could be a natural thing for defense. So if they attack anywhere from, let's call this the eastern side or the northern side, they do, for the most part, have to cross this river. So it could be a good choke point to slow them down and have all of our people waiting for them. And that's, again, something that you would see in Going Medieval, where other people will escape from captors or bad people in that game and try to come to your settlement for a better life. And it could be the same here. The developers got a huge plan, over a 10-minute video just showcasing everything they've got planned, and I think I'll put that into this video too, because it just does such a good job of showcasing all the things that they plan to do and hopefully have done since the spring of 2023 before it's released now almost 1 year later from those times. Look at that. Everybody's got a big O. It's like a huge turkey leg. Everybody's just kind of roasting that around the fire. That's cool, man. Everybody's finishing work for the day. Coming over to roast all their food. We can see a nice breakdown of all of our supplies here, 200 raw materials. So at any time we can kind of see how many clothes do we have, how many tools do we have, that kind of thing. Looks like we're looking a little light on axes and whatnot. So let's go ahead and start making some orders here for certain things. Let's go ahead and order 2 flint axes. And we'll try to maintain 2 at all times, which we've already got 1. We'll just make sure we always have 2 in storage. We'll do the same with blades, so that way people can gut fish or whatever else they may be used for. Flint pickaxes. I think we'll just do 2 of everything, really. Seems like a good call. Good music in this game, too. Yep, we've already got 2 flint pickaxes. And we've got 2 flint spears on the way to be made, too. Alright, and then as for rope, I think we'll make sure we have like 5. That way we can build more houses. All right, cool. People are going to be certainly busy over at that crafting table. Now, another thing, too, is that we can give our people direct commands. So if we click on somebody, like Morgana here, we can just right-click and tell them to run there, or possibly go work at a station, too. So very helpful to have the micromanaging capabilities of telling someone where to go and what to do without having to, like, work on the assigned work section, you know. We don't have to, like, find Morgana and then try to, you know, go down to this menu and then set crafting as a priority. It's just faster if you see somebody kind of lounging around. All right, so intelligence and vitality grows a little bit. Every day that we survive, our people grow stronger, and all the food that they eat and things that they learn will make us a little bit more than just a primitive society, that's for sure. All right, let's go ahead and let's gather some more grass here. Now we can also, again, prioritize this in the orders, but I like to do this by hand because I'm seeing this as more crafting the base. We're actually kind of like clearing out an area where we'll build future buildings. And so, yeah, kind of interesting, though, that they kind of start here, but we can also move things to this mountain if we want to. At any time, we could just start building structures up there, and our people then can store things in a new, like a warehouse floor or whatnot. We could build walls around and a roof around a certain area, and then designate that for storage, and then tell everyone to basically empty all this stuff out here and move it to a whole new area. So there is the ability to move from your starting location, no problem. Let's cut down a few more trees. I want to keep some trees. I want the base to look a little pretty. Okay, we'll cut down a couple of those trees there. Oh, we have some berries as well. Forage for food, that'll be good. The first year of survival, we probably want to dry fish and gather berries. So there was a berry dryer. And we can also search here too. So if we search, I think it was actually fruit. Ooh, the music. Nice. All right, let's build a little food section over here next to the house. And we'll do a meat dryer too. Not rum, but what was it? Oh, meat rack, that's what it is. Build 4 of those. Clothing stand, fishing tools table. Let's definitely start fishing. We'll build that over here. There we go. Gonna be all of our food production next to them. One thing I really like to do, and that kind of stresses me out at the beginning of these games, is I always feel like I make things either too spread out or too cluttered together. And so I've learned to basically just kind of not really worry about the beginning starts, especially Stranded Alien Dawn. That's a game where every time I play that game, and many of the other games like this, I really build a lot of stuff in a small area, which is kind of good for them to maximize their productivity by going from one station to another. But, you know, just basically trying to survive the first year on the basic stuff, because I also don't want to miss out on those game mechanics of the primitive stuff, and then eventually advancing into something like, you know, building up on this hill. There is a possibility, too, in this game where we can probably destroy these ramps and then defend ourselves against, you know, giant creatures that can attack. There's a huge gorilla, for example, that'll come in. Not only do we have to worry about human attacks, but wolves can come in, or gorillas or mammoths or whatnot, and some of them may be a little more passive and neutral mobs, but if a gorilla comes in and starts throwing rocks at us, even if we build giant walls, even if we build defenses like giant walls, they will still crush our people. They could throw a rock over the wall and hit people as they're sleeping inside of a shed. So we'll need a military up. Walls won't be enough. So I think preparing a bunch of spears and making sure everybody's armed is a little bit more important than building a wall at this moment. I think a lot of people like to see the wall built and, you know, like multiple defenses and a gate around a primitive society, or something like in ancient cities where it looks cool, but it might not provide as much value as we want. We got to have more people. We need people to defend the camp or the city wall, the palisade. So that'll be our first priority. So that way we can go out and mitigate threats that way. So that's going to be something we have to kind of focus on at the same time. Wow. Got people working. Good to see. All right, what can we make here? A harpoon. We've got ourselves a trident that we can make. Let's go ahead and maintain 3 of those. And let's go ahead and have somebody start working on food permanently. Now, it's kind of hard to tell who's good at what. I don't know if we can actually break down all their skills at a glance. I would like to make that a thing, though, where we could see what people are skilled at and what they prefer to do. But also, since we're a primitive society, we might not know how to do these things at all. So it might be a good idea just to start learning by doing. Okay, well, let's go ahead and have a couple people go out hunting, or rather fishing. So we'll have these two prioritize fishing. Then we'll have somebody start working on, 2 people working on crafting. And then we'll have some people working on gathering resources. I think is this one here. We'll make that their top priority job for the first year, but we could change that at any time. Alright, so now we're making those harpoons. Those are being delivered. Nice. And then the fishermen can go out and fish. And then we could dry all that on the rack. Ah, yeah, so we could do fish and meat here. Kind of surprised that it's just one little tiny rack. It's not like a huge, you know, like a clothesline almost, where there's multiple lanes for fish and meat to be tied up. Now, eventually, as I may have mentioned, traders will come through. There is the ability to trade with animal husbandry tribes that will come through and try to trade oxen or cows or chickens or whatnot. They'll stay for a few days, and then you can trade with them. Gives you time to kind of take a look at their prices or what they want to trade for X and Y, and then you can then try to prepare for a better trade. So if they come to town and you have a pottery wheel made or something like that, you can have people double time and work extra hard on the pottery wheel to get a few more pots ready to sell, so then you can get a better deal. That's pretty cool. I like it. Yeah, food management. Wow, look at all the food in the game. Cheese, egg, milk, brown millet, fish, meat, cultivated millet, wild millet, dried fish, meat, dried berry, and berries. So we got a multitude of recipes. Pretty cool. So a lot of that stuff we're going to need to last into the winter. Fresh fish and fresh berries are good for now, but we will need a lot of that stuff to last into the winter months. Let's make sure we also make, I don't know, maybe, what says here? Oh, it requires 30 berries to make a dried, like a batch of dried berries. So let's do, well, let's start with 3 then. That's what, 90 berries? Got a little berry bush there too, so I hope we can start farming shortly. I'm amazed at this game, by the way, showcasing the fact that you can actually do plowing in the game as well. You can have oxen pull a plow and cultivate the land. So that's something I first saw in a game called Ostriv, and then later saw in games like, I think Dawn of Man then eventually had that as well. And I'd love to see that in every primitive society builder. I would love to see more oxen and horses and whatnot towing things, pulling carts and pulling plows and other things like that, moving equipment around. This game actually does feature the ability to have those traders and stuff come in with those pieces of equipment with wheels, carts with wheels and sledges. We can learn that stuff too and build that for our society. So everything that I wanted from Dawn of Man is present in this game, or the things that I enjoy about that game. One of the most viewed primitive city builders on this channel, as well as ancient cities too. So it takes all the things from ancient cities, like the knowledge and kind of how you can make things by hand like that, but also quite a bit of Dawn of Man's ability to do that with going medieval mixed in. So, you know, so far so good. Let's be through this night here at times 8. And we'll see morning come soon enough. Love the look of the fire, by the way, and everyone's sitting around it. Imagine when we get a population of like 50 or 100 people, where then we'll have multiple bonfires going at night. Kind of cool. People like to gather around the fire at night to socialize, you know, tell jokes, eat food, and then go to bed and do it all over again. Let's see if we can find more berry bushes around. Looks like we've got 12, maybe. And select that one. Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, looks like we had a small area to cross the river here, so there are choke points. The enemy might not necessarily, when they attack, try to swim across the river and slow them down, but they'll try to run across areas like this, so then we'll be able to stop them. Mysterious black rock. Oh, I wonder what that could be. That is likely coal, and that's probably how we're going to eventually make... I think they mentioned brass, but we could find tin and copper and try to make bronze, maybe? I think the copper itself would come first, but... Alright, there we go. People are fishing. Let's go. Somebody fishing by hand? I think we have more than... how many tools do we have for that? Let's maintain... Yeah, we have 3. Let's make 6 then. Actually, let's make 1 for everyone. Let's make 6. 8. Let's make 8. There we go. Okay. Rock piles are almost removed. Okay, let's try to build a decent house now. Or maybe we could try to go capture some chickens or something like that. I'd like to do more. We have a hot seat. We have a seed table. We could start with farming. Herbs bench for medicine. Storage, of course. But I'd like to try to build some actual structures then. We could start this way. So we could... We can also demolish floors too. So where could we build? We could just build out here out in the open. In order to do that, we're going to need a lot of plant fiber for all the thatch roofing. And I think it'd be probably a better spot over here. Something we don't know yet. That's got to be an herb that we need to study. Ancestral will. Ah, yeah. Learning fishing. Catch 1,000 fish and we'll gain some stuff from that as well. So very similar to Dawn of Man, where you'll get points by doing, you know, gathering 500 stone or gathering 100 sticks or something. Then it'll unlock additional bonuses for you. Points that you can spend, essentially. Okay, creations. It looks like, ooh, we can discover bridges and raincoats too. Very nice. We've got 50, 100, 300 knowledge on those things. Grinding herbs, foraging berries. Okay. I think what we're going to do is build all the stations then, so we can do these things to make progress on additional knowledge. Or additional trees, tech trees. Okay, let's go for a seed table. And let's go for the herb stable. Burn corpses of your enemies here. Oh, no way. So if we get attacked, we can burn bodies on the pyre, or we can build a tomb. Ah, a story point where the elders can explain their experiences in life. Wow, let's build that too. A soothing point. Well, let's just build more stuff and see how it all looks. And if we started construction on a house, we'll just need to clear this area and try to just build some walls and stuff. This shelter's okay for now. This is totally, like, it's actually advanced for what we've got. Let's build a weaving table too. But as I mentioned before, I want to try to start on that, but we should also give our people weapons and tools ahead of time. We want to give our people a better quality of life. Weapons, armor, clothing, and they've already got some basic shelter, so let's give them some more. Got ourselves a host seat. Ah, this is for ceremonies when other people come to our camp. So we can actually have strategic alliances with other tribes. We can either go to war or we can ally with them, and if we choose to ally and fight together against mammoths or other enemies that might attack us, it's always good to have a friend. We can actually celebrate our friendship, our strategic partnership in military defense, or trading or whatnot with one of those ceremony points. That's cool. I like it. Man, the nighttime bonfire just looks outstanding. Love seeing the shadows, and wow, actually extends to some of the buildings too. I'm impressed. Let's see, lack of blades, lack of pickaxes, and 2 buildings without roofs. That's interesting. So I think they want us to put some of these things inside. They might become damaged in the winter or with seasonal events, but literally we're taking giant stones and plopping them on the ground. Like, oh no, this granite stone that's thousands of years old is being damaged. We're okay for now. We'll be aight. Okay, let's make a few more blades then. 4 out of 4 used. Make sure everybody gets a blade. Make 2 more axes, 2 more pickaxes. And we'll see how that goes. And we're waiting for a worker. So we have somebody prioritized on that. In fact, we could probably build another crafting station. Might be a good idea. There we go. Wonder if it'll show us which buildings are without roof. Oh, that's interesting. So it looks like the crafting table and the fishing tools table, they require a roof, but I don't know. I think you'd probably put all the nets outside, wouldn't you? Save all that stuff for the outdoors. You know, all that space that you could put inside. I think it'd be all right outside. Like, oh no, our nets got wet. We don't want that to happen. All right, let's make some more stuff. We can change some of the orders here on this side. It'd be nice if we could actually copy these together. We can copy the building, but it would be nice if we could kind of duplicate the orders from A and B. But got about an hour and a half before that's constructed. Good look on the characters, though. I think that's a really great looking landscape. Very detailed grass. You know, different types of things in the grass, too. We've got some dirt patches. Again, I've been seeing this more and more in games where it's not just kind of the same grass everywhere, but there's differences in, almost it looks like in fertility, where it's like some grass is a little more, there's like more clay-like soil where nothing's really growing, or sandy soil. But then we've got like beautiful, you know, open areas of grazing territory for our cows and chickens, which might be cool. Now, I think we might need to hunt them a little bit before we understand how to capture them. Let's see what we got for options. Without a master, there is no way to control. Okay, so we can actually capture these guys and then hunt target. Oh, yeah. Go ahead and have somebody hunt them. And I think we'll get more animals in the future. But I think we need to hunt them first in order to capture them. Like, learn more about them. We need to study them and make progress down that tech tree. Oh, little baby chick. Oh. All right, we'll leave some alive. Very nice. Okay. We'll have to basically mimic what we did at the other station. But I'm going to try to use this one as a backup where if the number gets low enough and the other station is trying to catch up on some of these orders, this station will then be used. So it's like a kind of an emergency shortage station that will then help us get back on track with our numbers. We kind of want things to go low to be able to use this one. Nice. Okay, very good. Another day complete. I think we might be drying berries, I'm not sure. And we're going to store some of those things outside. So eventually we do want to build a covered shelter for that, although I wish there was more options for maybe storage that are outside but yet protected. So something like a pit or a maybe like a pot that we could build, that type of thing. Standing torches, that'd be kind of cool. Build a couple of those here and there. All right, good enough. Okay, raw materials, yep. Oh, we got a lot of stuff here. All right, very good. And a beautiful river, too. I hope to see more things in the landscape territory, like waterfalls and more. Very nice. All right, let's wait for morning. So, yes, people can have babies. Children can then grow up to take over the jobs of their parents, like hunting or crafting. And so the longer you keep somebody in a certain job, the better. Even if that job's not needed, eventually it might be needed. So if we've got a few fishermen and we've got plenty of fish, it might be a good idea to keep them fishing and then pass that knowledge down to their children, so that way when the tribe grows, you can then have more fishermen ready to go. And then here is where we can have our stones from the elders to teach. We're basically building a school, and then they'll carve that knowledge, images of like cows or fish or whatnot, into these stones to show them what it looks like and maybe how to catch it somehow. More visual, like art, than it is written language. Wow. Pretty. All right. So yes, we need to be able to build a little elevated thing like this now. So we could definitely go into the some of the options here for building like a like a kind of a plateau and then put a building onto it. But we'll get to that another time as we play more. I certainly think this is one that's worth my time, and I'm excited for its release on February 25th. Well, sadly, we're out of time for Primitive Society Simulator, but I'm going to leave you with an extra 10 minutes from the developer showcasing some of the features that they worked on last year and many of the things that we didn't just get a chance to see today. But look at that. Looks like there's an actual like saber-toothed tiger and like a mammoth there. Cool. That you can make as a friend. All right, guys. We'll be playing more of this one in the future, and I hope to see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, turning the notification bell on, just always being awesome. Thanks again for the support, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.
Dear esteemed players and testers of Primitive Society Simulator, I am the creator, Big Dove. You have participated in the development. I extend my utmost respect to all of you. For players who have not yet participated in the testing, the demo of Primitive Society Simulator is currently available for direct download and play. It offers approximately 10 hours of content. Enjoy playing and don't forget to add a wish list and provide your feedback and criticism. This is the content my team has presented to you from March to May. We will gradually improve this materialistic game. Let's start with something simpler first, as I'm not quite sure how many of the viewers and players are Homo sapiens. First of all, in the early years, there will be survival pressure as animals may attack the tribe. This is mainly for gameplay purposes, as in reality, there wouldn't be many animals actively attacking humans at that time. Animals would have likely fled when they saw the campfire and tall, upright naked apes from a distance. In the game, however, picking up weapons and fighting back is the solution, but there will still be some pressure in the early years. Another pressure comes from locusts. They will gradually appear, consuming the vegetation on the map. If you have cultivated fields, they will target them first. Humans are not that tasty. The locusts are selective eaters, preferring the delicious grains in the fields. Next is a slightly more complex gameplay mechanic related to stone tablet carving. In the game, there is a fundamental logic. Accumulating knowledge to a certain extent leads to inventions and creations. It's not about being a genius, having natural talent, or bloodline. It's not a divine instruction, nor is it about gaining experience from defeating monsters or eating books for skills. It's about the accumulation of labor and human thinking. Based on this logic, creating a technology in the game requires both intelligence and knowledge conditions. Intelligence increases through diet, while knowledge is a result of labor and storytelling combined. Essentially, it's education. When a person dies, their knowledge disappears, causing a technological setback. Carving it on a stone tablet can prevent this from happening. At the same time, the knowledge on the stone tablet provides a bonus to storytelling. It's like an early teaching tool. In reality, the ancient forms of carving and painting were initially used to record information. For example, drawing a cow to document a hunting experience or to inform others about the presence of cattle. Later on, this method was also used to express the understanding or aspirations of the world, giving rise to many of the art forms we know today. These artworks are not some incredibly mysterious objects. They were created to convey certain messages. Over time, they were used for showing off, symbolizing status, and making oneself appear more impressive than others. The most complex gameplay in this demo revolves around emotions and culture. Animal emotions are used for social interactions and conveying information to each other. The same applies to humans. In the game, we have currently implemented some simple emotional responses. For example, having sex, interacting with children, or having pets can all boost one's mood. When in a good mood, there are bonuses to work and moral in battle. The gameplay regarding negative emotions is currently more complex. In reality, many of our negative emotions stem from the fundamental fears of being abandoned or feeling useless to others. It is because of these fears that we attempt to control situations and may exhibit anger. Similarly, these fears may lead us to display vulnerability in order to seek sympathy, resulting in acts of begging. Additionally, because we fear that associating with weaker individuals may hinder our own progress or damage our image, we may exhibit contempt or disdain. In the game, we simulate this by portraying humans facing various disasters and experiencing fear due to their inability to comprehend them. As their intelligence and knowledge increase, they become less affected by emotions. For example, in the mood panel, when facing an invasion, there are currently 3 stages based on intelligence level. In the initial stage of fear, individuals may perceive it as a creator punishment. As their intelligence increases, their understanding of the invasion changes, and they begin to see it as order within the range of weapons. Similarly, there are 3 stages in how diseases are perceived. At lower levels of intelligence, individuals may believe that creator is warning us through diseases. As intelligence increases, they come to the realization that we need a richer knowledge of herbs to alleviate illness. Negative emotions on the battlefield are primarily driven by fear. Both the enemy and our own warriors may flee due to fear. Therefore, in battle, players need to undermine the enemy's morale while boosting their own. Currently, there are 2 ways to improve morale: the altar and the war drum. During combat, the war drum can boost morale. Prior to battle, mobilization can be conducted using the altar and rituals for inspiration. The grander the altar, the higher it is built, the larger its footprint, and the better the food consumed during the ceremony, the higher the morale will be uplifted. If morale is high, there will be a bonus to attack power. Riding a saber-toothed tiger can also strike the enemy's morale, making them experience the inherent fear of large cats encoded in their DNA. In the previous comments, many friends asked about primitive worship and religion. The gameplay mechanics related to emotions are actually one of the real reasons behind the emergence of religion. It served as an explanation for natural phenomena, especially various disasters and death, in order to soothe emotions. During this process of exploration and interpreting nature, a certain worldview was formed. At that time, understanding mostly relied on imagination, which resulted in the presence of many mythological elements. Another reason for the development of religion was public affairs, although this aspect has not been implemented in the game yet. For example, lending food, providing relief to victims during flood, and so on. As for practices like shamanism, incantations, spiritualism, and trickery, they were essentially performances aimed at manipulating emotions, gaining personal benefits, and establishing or consolidating one's own dominance. Therefore, all gameplay mechanics, such as worship a specific totem for specific buffs, are foolish idealism. Regarding public affairs and the formation of social classes, they may be considered as gameplay elements in future versions. Next, let's talk about some more traditional gameplay elements. AI in combat has been implemented. There is a giant ape that throws rocks at the tribe from a long distance, so relying solely on walls for defense is no longer effective. It is necessary to prepare more melee weapons and armor for field battles. The AI for this part will continue to be optimized, and some common strategies used previously, such as toggling city gates or using fast animals for hit and run, may no longer be effective. Factors like morale and training level will gradually become decisive in the battlefield as the game progresses and is further refined. There have been several changes in the trading aspect. We have added transportation vehicles, like the carts. There will also be other means of transportation, such as sledges and leather pouches, which will be implemented later. Trade caravans from other tribes will appear on the map. They will set up a campfire and wait for players to engage in trade. They will stay for a few days and then move on. The world now is a sphere, with tribes of various lifestyles, each offering their own goods for sale. For example, tribes that rely on hunting for survival will sell weapons but may lack food. Husbandry tribes will sell a variety of dairy products, eggs, and high-quality livestock with desirable attributes. Next, let's talk about the process of forming an alliance. It requires fulfilling various conditions. Firstly, in the game progression, you must defend against invasions and gradually build up your armed forces. Then, after the Ice Age, there will be continuous heavy rainfall causing floods. During this time, you will receive a task of Help All the World that requires sending out manpower for assistance. Upon successful completion, some tribes will come to pay tribute. After that, you need to construct an altar to showcase your wealth. Additionally, increasing prestige through warfare and achievements, enhancing relationships through trade, and spreading language and writing through oracle bones will all contribute to the process. Finally, when you have sufficient wealth, prestige, and relationships, you can invite other tribes to hold a meeting. Together, you will discuss and negotiate the establishment of an alliance. This is a meeting to discuss the establishment of alliance. This is the ceremony for the establishment of alliance. Finally, we have also implemented some additional features. There is a difficulty adjustment panel where you can adjust the intensity of various disasters and wars. The decay rate of food and the spawn interval of animals and plants can also be adjusted. We have included a fast construction option for those who wish to build quickly. You can use these features to tailor the game difficulty to your preferences, whether you prefer farming and peaceful living or building a powerful empire. Alright, the above is the work my team has accomplished from March to May. We aim to interpret the world from a materialistic perspective and create a game that reflects this ideology. It's a long-term journey, and I look forward to feedback from players.